It's time to talk again about all the fresh titles coming to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus this month, and some unfortunate news about how much that latter subscription is going to cost going forward.
And the Starfield review embargo is up, and early access people are playing it. Is this another Game of the Year contender? We're going to talk about all this and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing you all the biggest things happening in the video game industry. You can check us out on Fruit Lab, YouTube, podcast services everywhere. All you got to do, you type in three little letters, GNW, and you'll find us talking news. My name is Erect the Red, joined every week by this man right here, the Frank to my beans, full clip. How are you, dude?
Doing good. Hanging in there. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's as of this recording, it's almost the weekend, and I'm like, I want it so badly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now it sounded like a Freudian slip there, possibly, but I'm interested in this idea of podcats that you've got. Is there a podcast about podcats?
That's a great idea. Or like just little cats that we could sell in like, you put them in pods.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you sell them in like, it's like a, you know how they're all really popular right now? Those like the mystery things where you don't know what you're going to get. My kid like gets all these, he's like, I want this thing. And he plays with it for like 30 seconds because it's like, it's just a piece of garbage. But podcats, they're real cats. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Oh, I've heard an urban legend growing up, much darker and unrelated to anything. But I always heard, like, in some countries overseas, they'd grow cats in jars somehow so that they would have a shape of the jar. Don't know if that's true.
That's weird.
Just saying.
I think you're thinking of pumpkins.
I've seen that.
I've
seen a little of that on TikTok.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Or watermelons, maybe. But yeah. I don't know about cats. We'll look it up. Right to us there. P.O. Box Gaming News Weekly at gamingnewsweekly.boulevard. And let us know about if there's cats in a jar. What has been up? Anything exciting?
As far as games, been playing a little more Baldur's Gate 3, a little more Fallout 76. And the new one, I'm always like a week behind you on these things. I played Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the newer one that just came out.
Nice. What'd you think of that one?
I had fun. I played one round as the victims and one round as the killer. Didn't get Leatherface. I got the guy with the pointy stick. I think it's Cook is his name.
That's who I've been playing as, and I got to switch, dude. I don't like him. He's too old and feeble, and he just does this.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, dude.
I didn't mind it. I killed like the first two people in the playthrough.
You did?
Yeah, but my whole team backed out.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, I wanted to pick like the younger guy who like is he's more athletic, Johnny or something like that. I don't remember. Nice, yeah. It's a fun game. I wish there was more explanation.
Yeah,
like as far as tutorial and stuff like that, because like I don't know, I was so lost. Luckily, the people I've been playing with have played it more than me, and they were like, okay, yeah, do this, don't do that, and I was like, okay. Thankfully, you know this. So,
yeah,
that's good. That's good. I'm having fun with it. I think like it is very similar to those other asymmetrical horror multiplayer games, but it's new and it's fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
What else have I played? A bunch more Baldur's Gate 3. It's gonna be a while before I stop saying. What have I been playing? Baldur's Gate 3. Because, like, man, I'm still, like, I'm being a completionist. I'm still on, like, Act 1, and I'm just kind of, like, going through, like, killing everything I can. I just hit level 5, and now I'm, like, OP for the area, so I think I need to move on. And another game I've been playing is my indie game of the week. It's called It's a Wrap. Have you ever heard of this game?
Pretty sure. You'll have to remind me what it is.
Yeah, so it's a puzzle game, and it's set in, like, 80s movies, and you play a stuntman, And the puzzle of it is like, so the screen looks kind of like a video editor. It's got all the bars at the bottom, and you have each one of those bars is like a thing on your screen. So it's either like falling rocks or lava or something like that. So you have to move those bars to trigger the event that's going to happen, so that you can get your character through the scene, the stuntman through the scene, and it's so much fun, dude. I mean, it's a very, very hard puzzle game, but like I love the idea of like these movies, these 80 movies and stuff like that, and then figuring out that puzzle. It's very rewarding. It's like it's a lot of trial and error too, which is not the greatest when you're doing puzzle games. You want to be able to like figure it out, instead of just trying it. It's the last one I think I was on like take like 49 or something, because every time they do the marker, it's like take 49 action, and then you run through and you got to try to do it again. So I played that for, I don't know, I got it yesterday. I played it for probably like 4 hours yesterday, and just going through, and it would be like, all right, I'm just going to play this one and then I'll be done with it. And it was like, I would play it for like, dude, the same board for like a half hour trying to get through it. And then I would get to the next one. I'm like, well, let me just at least see what this one does. And then I get hooked into that one and I'm playing that one again. But yeah, it's definitely a fun game. If you like puzzle games, yeah, I recommend it. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I remember seeing the that linear editing part that you were talking about as part of the game. So I did see that trailer recently. Is it possibly one of the games that are coming? It's coming to Game Pass, or did we see it in that indie mashup last week?
Yeah, it was in the indie games Gamescom thing last week. That's why I first saw it, and then yeah. So that's and then it came out like the same way. It came out last on the 23rd, so about a week ago from here. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's definitely something that is so different from Baldur's Gate that it's like, it's kind of fitting that if I need to take a break, from Baldur's Gate, I just jump right in there and play a few levels. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Anything else? Should we move this show along?
Yeah, let's get to those new releases.
All right, first up, Goodbye Volcano High came out on August 29th for PS4, PS5, and PC. It's a bunch of anthropomorphic dinosaurs dealing with life as a high school senior and the eventual extinction of, of all things. If high school wasn't enough, now you have to worry about a giant asteroid coming to kill your entire race. But yeah, it's a cinematic narrative adventure, but you play as like you're in a band, and then there's all these like rhythm like mini games where you're playing your band's music and you got to like do the the kind of hit the button with the music type thing. It looks great. It looks like a fun story. The animation's really, really well done. It's all hand drawn, and a bunch of dinosaurs in a band.
I can tell that this one is right up your alley.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm definitely like an easy. I was like, oh, it's got it's a narrative adventure. Yeah. It's got music in it. It's got teen drama. Yes, anthropomorphic dinosaurs. I'm excited to check this one out. I'm gonna it's on my wish list. I'm not gonna get it anytime soon.
Yeah.
But it looks good. It's got good reviews, and the next big Steam sale, I'm scooping it up for sure. All right, another one came out August 29th. Under the Waves came out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X, and S. Another narrative adventure. I know we're not winning you over with any of these narrative adventures here.
This one gets closer.
All right. So this one is about the engulfing power of grief is the basic theme to this one. You play as Stan. He's a diver in like this underwater world where it's like kind of like futuristic, but it's like the 70s. So it's weird. But yeah, you have your submarine. You got to explore the ocean and discover all these things. But it's about like isolation and we said and grief, and it's got this major story where you're like, as you explore, you like uncover more backstory. And to do that, you have to find more things to craft equipment, to go further in the ocean, and then uncover more backstory and get more. So it's a really cool idea for a game, and it does. It looks great.
Yeah, I like that it looks like it might divulge into sort of like a psychological thriller kind of thing.
It definitely does.
Yeah, that, and it seems like maybe there are some social things in there as well. I mean, you hear the guy in the trailer who sounds like he works for the company, and he's like, "We're gonna maximize production."
Mm-hmm. It's always about maximizing production. But yeah, this one's right there with the Goodbye Volcano High. It's on the wish list. I'll keep an eye out for a sale because, yeah, this one definitely looks like it has a great story. It looks beautiful on top of all that. You know, you're underwater and it looks like you see all these amazing underwater creatures and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it looks a lot of fun. And then last up, Sea of Stars also came out on the 29th. It was a big day, August 29th. Well, for indie titles. This came out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, and the Nintendo Switch. This is a retro-inspired role-playing game. We've talked about it a few times. Turn-based role-playing game. You play as the two children of the solstice, and you have the powers of the sun and the moon. There's a bunch of other playable characters in it, but those are the two major characters. And it looks great. And I'm happy to announce that it's getting rave reviews. Right now it's at a 90 on Metacritic. They're saying that it's such a well-balanced game as far as the fighting and the action and the gameplay when you're outside of the fighting, the stories, they're all just so well done where you never feel like bored or anything like that. Because even though it's a turn-based game, like they added this element to the fighting where you have to like time things to get like extra power and stuff like that. So they're trying to, take this kind of retro idea and put all these new features into it to make it, more current. But it's still got that beautiful pixel art. The music is fantastic. I downloaded this one today. My plan is to play it tonight.
Oh, very nice.
So,
yeah, I'm probably gonna grab it and try it out on Game Pass. It's the graphics for me with this one, with the pixel style, but it's that fine meshing of like the pixel style, but newer effects, and it's got that golden age of pixel style because we're gonna even talk about a game today that's like taking it back to 8-bit. But I think this is that 16 or 32-bit era. Don't really know, but Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. But then you add on the new effects, the nice graphics.
Yep. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I'm really excited, and there's a lot where, yeah, like you said, we're talking about all these retro style games and like this pixel art, and this one looks gorgeous, and I'm glad that there's still a place for games like these in a world of Starfield and Baldur's Gate. You could go back and still get these, amazing 20 to 30 hour role playing games that are reviewing as, possible game of the year candidate, in any other year, it seems. But yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I'll report back next week on my findings. All right, those are our major releases from this past week. Let's get into it. Let's get into our news of the week. All right, our top news story. Sony has lost their minds. PlayStation Plus, they're raising the price 33% globally across all plans, just out of the blue. So the 12-month subscription now, it was $60. It's now $80 for just the basic one. You want to play video games online, you need this. You need $80 subscription to the PlayStation Plus Essential. PlayStation Plus Extra, that's the one with the Game Pass like catalog of games, was $99 for the year, is now $135. And then the premium, it adds those like PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2 games. Used to be $120, is now $160. What are your thoughts, Full Clip?
I'm right there with you. They've lost their minds. That's insane. We just talked about like the Game Pass hike in prices, And I was thinking it was going to be like $5 or something a month. They raised it like $2. So,
Yeah.
my God, when I saw this, I hoped like, I can see 5 or 10, but I started looking at those prices, $30 or $40 differences. Maybe like the cheapest one was like a $20 difference. Insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't know. I get why they're doing it. They said why they're doing it. The cost of things, is it says this price adjustment will enable us to continue bringing high quality games and value added benefits to your PlayStation Plus subscription service. Like, so is the cost that much where they needed to like raise this much? Like, it seems like a crazy jump in price to me. So much so, dude, I will always have PlayStation Plus. That's my main console that I play games on with my friends. And I will always have that because you need that for the online. Doesn't mean I'm happy to pay the $80 a year for that. But I've had the PlayStation Plus Extra for a couple of years now, and I don't play a ton of games on it. Like, I get excited when I see them, and I'm always like, hey, maybe I'll go and play that. And I'm always playing something either new that we just bought or something on Game Pass. I'm absolutely not going to be re-upping my subscription to that. I think it did just automatically like pay another a re-up me, so I think I'm good for another year anyways. But just crazy, and to make us all like excited about this change, they were like, hey, you want to spend an extra 33%? Well, check out this huge month of games we're going to give you. Saints Row and Black Desert and Generation Zero. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Why would they save like a better game for this announcement to make it hurt less?
Right.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, Saints Row, which was so bad that in other news, the studio that made it is shutting down.
yes, which I meant to include in our thing, but yeah, that's basically it. That's all we got out of it. They're shutting down. Yeah, Saints Row, which is the remake of the game from, I think it came out in 2022, and then Black Desert is a MMORPG. It's like a fantasy one, and Generation Zero is a open world adventure set in 1980s Sweden that I had never heard of. I was like, oh, I like 1980s Sweden, and it got pretty piss poor reviews, so I'm not going to be checking that out. But yeah, I mean, so we talked about Game Pass, the price jump. So theirs was $14.99 a month, is now $16.99 a month, and now that's a lot too. Like, especially when you consider like, okay, you're paying for the whole year of the PlayStation Plus, $135 for the year, and instead you're paying $16.99 for Game Pass. But let's take a look. This is just the games that we know are coming out this September on Game Pass. So we just had Texas Chainsaw Massacre, day one, brand new game. Starfield is coming out September 6th, the biggest game, one of the biggest games of the year. Lies of P, September 19th, another huge day one release. Party Animals, a super awesome looking first day battle, or not battle royale, but it's like I don't even know, is it a battle royale or is it just like mini games?
I don't even remember.
Anyways, I'm getting off my tangent. Payday 3, the brand new, AAA heist game, comes out September 23rd. And then Cocoon, another day one puzzle game, comes out September 29th. And that doesn't even include the Call of the Wild Angler fishing game that we also got day one just this past week. So, like, that's just this month.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Sea of Stars, like PlayStation Plus got Sea of Stars, but so did Game Pass. So I can't even be like, hey, there's another like, feather in your cap. You got this great new game day one. So did the other company.
Yeah, and I mean this whole game pacification of PlayStation Plus isn't even that old. So what were they thinking, like jumping into this business so fast? Just like let's compete at any cost.
Yeah, exactly. It does make me wonder, and I know we got some of the dollar amounts during the whole Microsoft trial, but I want to know what is the cost for this? This to keep these games in there. If they had to raise the price of it 33%, like, yeah, how much does it cost to keep these games in there? And they're not getting like huge AAA titles in there, especially not new ones. So I don't know if unless they change their mind and say they're going to be putting their first party games into the PlayStation Plus package, then it seems crazy to me that this price increase.
Yeah, I mean, they almost have to compete with Game Pass because, like we're seeing Starfield, like you said, probably going to be like a Game of the Year contender. And, we know how much money is going into the AAA games like Starfield and like the ones that came before it, Fallout 4 and Skyrim. That's a lot of money that Microsoft is giving up. And I guess, to be fair, Sony doesn't have Microsoft money. Microsoft can just throw it and piss it all away if they need to get people over to their platform. I don't think Sony can do that. And if they could suck it up a little bit longer, they probably would. I guess this is just something that has to happen.
Yeah, they've said it before. They're okay with their current model where they're still releasing their first party games out there to buy. It's a huge income earner for them that way. And yeah, so it is what it is. And ultimately, I feel like this is going to even out the cost. Is going to offset any loss in subscribers they have, because I think there's still going to be a ton of people on there that do utilize the extra service more than you or I would, where there's a huge back catalog of games. I'm constantly surprised at how many great older games are in there that I've never played, and I'm always like, oh yeah, I'll get to that someday. I'll check it out because I have access to it. But nothing that I'm like going to download when I, as soon as I see it or whatever. Yeah. And that's just because there's just, every week we're talking about these amazing new games that are coming out that I want to play. So it's just not enough time. All right, let's talk about something very, very important. Starfield. The reviews are in, and it's a hit. 88 on Metacritic, 88 on OpenCritic. I read a lot of reviews today, and it's funny because there's some that are lower, nothing lower than like a 7. Like IGN gave it a 7. I think PC Gamer gave it a 7.5. GameStop. I always get those confused. GameSpot gave it like a 7, I think, but so many other ones gave it 10s, 9.5s, and so the bad I read is the poor inventory system, no mini maps when you like land on these planets, so you really get lost, and then a lot of the planets are pretty like sparse and lifeless. In addition to, I did read that like a lot of people said one of the downsides is it takes like the game you really don't get into the game until about like 40 hours in, they said, which is insane to me. And then like the best part about it from everything I've read is that it's one of the greatest sandbox games out there. That they're just like, I became a pirate and smuggled like, you could smuggle religious artifacts or like human organs, and then you'll get arrested if they catch you with those, or like just like random stuff. Like you could just do like crazy stuff out there. So that part sounds really exciting to me. But yeah, what is your thoughts? Are you excited?
Well, I was going to ask you, are you like in a hurry to download and play it?
So I'm not in a hurry where I'm going to pay the premium, to get it 6 days earlier or whatever. Which, did you see that Game Pass did offer that? Like,
yeah,
I'm going to be playing it through Game Pass. You could buy, the upgrade. I think it was like $35 or whatever. But that gets you any DLC, like, or at least one of the DLC packs in the future. So I thought that was cool. I'm not that excited, but I did clear space on my Xbox today, so I'm ready to download it when it does come out.
Yeah, I mean, where I just made a big purchase with Baldur's Gate 3, and that is such a time investment of a game, I think I'm going to keep playing that for a little while, because I don't see Starfield going away from Game Pass. They've got like the whole Bethesda catalog on there, and I think that's going to be one of their main draws for a long time. So I see this being on there possibly indefinitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
not only is it a Game Pass seller, it's a system seller. It's
yeah.
just like they're saying this is going to get people to buy Xboxes.
So I mean, I feel like I can wait. It's a Bethesda game, so we know that there are probably going to be some bugs. Although I've heard this one is better. I've heard you would get on Skyrim and find more bugs in 15 minutes than you would experience in a playthrough of this game, which is good.
Yeah,
that's hard to believe, but good. But
yeah,
I can wait for them to iron things
buggy.
out. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm in this. I'm gonna play it when it first comes out just to see. I want to live in that world for a minute. I want to know what the hype is, because they even said that the first, I don't know, 5-10 hours, like it's a little rough. And once you get through that, because there's a bunch of like tutorials and just kind of explaining the story to you. But once you get through that and you get to experience the game and experience that sandbox part and just kind of make more decisions and stuff, that's when it gets good. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I have the time for that right now. But I mean, even like the create a character like thing, it looks like I'm going to spend like 2 hours doing that.
Yeah.
Like getting my part, because there's so many things. And then I was reading a thing today. They were talking about like these extra feats or abilities you could pick, and like it was what was it? It was like a TikTok or something. They said like the 4 weirdest ones, and one of them was like you could get your dream house or whatever, and it's like this beautiful house that you could decorate, kind of like a Sim style, Animal Crossing style. You just decorate your house, but then you have to pay like $250,000 like a month or something crazy to the bank for your mortgage. Another one was like you have parents in the game that will, like, I don't know, help you out and teach you lessons and just be there for you, but you have to give them 2% of your earnings or whatever. Just like weird stuff that I want to try all of it. It sounds so strange. And that's what I like about the idea of Starfield, is that it's embracing a little bit of that weirdness.
Yeah.
So
it seems like some pretty good science fiction. I've even heard like you can visit Earth, but I didn't read past the headline on this one, but it said like, but you might want to take a stiff drink first. So I assume in good science fiction faction, it's like taking things to the extreme. Earth is a desolate wasteland because we fucked it up, and it just seems interesting.
Yeah, I've never been like huge. I've played the Fallout games. I've never like been there day one playing them, because they're so massive for me. I do get in there and I like to experience what all the hype is and stuff like that, and it keeps me invested for a little bit. This one, I think, more than any of the other ones, even like even Skyrim. I've still never played Skyrim. That's it's just all these huge games. It's too much for me. I talk too much anxiety, but yeah, Starfield. We're a week away. If you guys out there have played it, gotten in the early access, send us a note. Let us know how it is, what we need to do. Because I need a walkthrough for this. I think from the start. All right, is that it for our Starfield corner?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep talking Bethesda. And next up for Bethesda, Elder Scrolls 6. There was, we all kind of knew that this was coming out soon, but we got a bit more of an answer about time wise. So, head of publishing Pete Hines, from Bethesda, he confirmed that the Skyrim sequel has completed the pre-production stage and moved into the development phase. And he said, and yes, there are people working on the Elder Scrolls 6, but this is what the studio has focused on. So no, you're not going to hear soon about the Elder Scrolls 6. Starfield is our focus now, and is going to remain our priority for a while before we talk about anything else. So it's in early development. So I get, what's that mean? I think probably 2028 is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was going to jokingly say like 2030. But I don't know. I hope it's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't know. So they announced it in 2018, and there was a lot of talk recently on like, if they announced it too soon and that sort of thing. But it doesn't seem like it's very soon at all. But okay, so let's say 2026 we get like a trailer
Yeah, probably.
All right, I'll take it. Is this one that you're looking forward to? Were you a fan of Skyrim?
Yeah, quite. I played Skyrim. I never really truly completed it, but I played long playthroughs several times over because they brought it back out with every generation of console.
That's true. And then the mods, like there are all those mods that you could do crazy stuff with. I was just speaking of mods, like Starfield. They were saying how like they can't imagine how amazing the mods are going to be for that game when they do start popping out. That's, I mean, thinking ahead. So yeah, Elder Scrolls 6, 2028. You heard it here first. All right, next up, Super Mario Brothers Wonder had a direct recently. It was 15 minutes, and they talked about what to expect with this new Super Mario Brothers game. So they showed off the 7 different areas that you can play in, the different like worlds and that sort of thing. There are 8 playable characters. Showed off a bunch of new enemies, some new features, and then the coolest things, the things that you could like kind of like turn into, like you could turn into an elephant and then just run around as like an elephant Mario, which is really cool. There's like a bubble version, a drill head, a lot of different like cool stuff. It's going to be 4-player local. There's an online component where you could, play against other people. Like, I don't know, it's like a weird ghost thing or something. What is your thoughts on Super Mario Brothers Wonder?
I'm trying not to be too negative about it because I'm realizing the more I grow up, this isn't for me. It's there. This isn't one of those franchises that, like Pokemon, even it kind of grows with you. We get some more serious things like Detective Pikachu out of Pokemon that is for sort of our generation that grew up with it. The Mario games do not make that concession, I feel like. And it just seems like the gameplay is kind of babyified. And there are things like for the nostalgic factor, like those different colored Yoshis. That does something for me. As a kid who grew up with the Super Nintendo version and getting those different ones with different powers. But then I see the trailer for this game and I see, well, if you decide to play as Yoshi, you're going to not take damage. And you also get extra like flying abilities to make the game that's already pretty easy, way too easy for you. And I just wonder, why does Nintendo do things like this? Why don't they just put an option in the options menu so no matter what character you go in and play as, you can decide to nerf them or not? Why do I have to play handicapped if I'm Yoshi?
So I see what this all is. You're just pissed because you wanted to play Yoshi and you don't want your friends to say you're playing the baby version of the game.
It's a big part of it. But, I mean, there's more. All the more recent Mario and even Kirby and other Nintendo titles, they all seem to like include multiplayer for some reason, couch co-op multiplayer, but then they treat it as if it's an afterthought. Like playing Kirby, it's sometimes broken because the camera is following the main character and the secondary character just gets dragged along in the hurtful, painful liquid or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. As I haven't played any of the more recent Mario games. I haven't played since Mario Odyssey. And this one, like, and I've always preferred the 3D Marios to that. But this one, I thought it had so much new stuff where I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I want to, like, see what this is. Like that enemy that opens its mouth really big, and if you get too close to it, you get sucked into it. Or, like, I don't know, just a bunch of, like, random things where there's, like, this pipe worm thing. And I'm like, it's so different that I feel more excited to check this out than I have with any of the recent Marios. Because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a little weirder. Again, it's I like the weirdness.
Yeah, and I guess worth mentioning, this is a little bit of a throwback because this looks almost strictly 2D platformer, except for they talked about like the Wonder features or something like that, where you could touch this certain flower. The world your perspective might shift, and you're now in a top-down Mario game. For the most part, it's that classic 2D side-scroller, which is a departure from a lot of the newer Mario games. So I'm into that. Like, I liked looking at the new goo features and the thing that falls through the goo. That looked cool. In the drill upgrade, too. Being able to sort of drill under the enemies or drill under walls. There is a lot of cool stuff to it. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's not like it's one where you could be like, well, I'm interested, not super interested. Let me wait for a sale
Yeah,
because it'll never go on sale.
yeah. This will probably be like $70 at the beginning too. Now, with the way things are going, I don't know if Nintendo has adopted that, but I wouldn't doubt it for this title.
Yeah, I think Breath of the Wild was, right? So, or whatever, Tears of the Kingdom
Oh yeah,
was. So yeah, I definitely think it will be, but yeah, we'll see. I'm intrigued by it. I thought the 15-minute direct I thought was really well done. Showed off all the features that you want to see. Oh, they also announced a limited edition OLED model of the Nintendo Switch with a Mario Red version of it. It looked pretty nice, and that comes out October 6th. And then Super Mario Brothers Wonder comes out October 20th. So not far off right now. All right, and next up, there was an indie games showcase, the Mix Next indie game showcase, and then the Dames for Games indie game showcase. Now there was, I don't even know, 5,000 indie games announced at this thing. So we're not going to talk about all of them, and I still haven't even finished it. It was like a 4-hour show. But these are the games that I love, especially now that I have my Steam Deck, and I have, because 90% of these are just like, just PC games that'll just come out on a whim. But I thought it was interesting, some of the big ones. We talked recently about nostalgia and stuff like that. And so we're getting a Rugrats game, which is the game you brought up earlier, where it was like 8-bit or whatever.
No, this one wasn't. But yeah,
this one is even more. Did you see the trailer for the Rugrats?
Yeah,
dude, it looks like it's a Game Boy game. It's so strange, and it's in that square. It's in a square, and then what struck me as very odd is that you could also play in the HD mode, which looks way better. Like, why not have that be the main feature than this weird Game Boy game? I don't understand that.
Yeah, you got a point. Rugrats. I don't know why they decided to do the more pixelated one, but I think it's a cool concept. I'm interested in this. It unlocked like a core memory for me back to when I had a Rugrats game for like PC in the Windows 98 days.
Who's your favorite Rugrat?
I'm like a Rugrat OG. It's like it's either a year older than me or a year younger than me. I forget which one. But I grew up like as a toddler watching Rugrats. Yeah.
You were a Rugrat. Well, you watched Rugrats.
I think Tommy. I mean, he's the leader.
Yeah, he's the leader.
Yeah. At the end of the day, he always has the laugh. So.
Yeah. I was always a big fan of Phil and Lil.
Oh yeah.
Classic, getting in the hijinks, just not giving an F about anything. Very cool. Yeah, and then the other one, the new G.I. Joe side-scrolling game. I don't remember exactly what the title was. In the, kind of like the new Shredder's Revenge. Were you a G.I. Joe guy?
Not really. A little before my time.
Yeah. I remember, my older brother was really into G.I. Joe, and it was, I was, right on the cusp there, and it was, so he had all the action figures and all the characters. So by that, I was into it. So this one looked, this was exciting, the announcement of this. They showed the gameplay, and it didn't really get me too hyped. It's, I don't know, it looked dated. It didn't have that new kind of shine like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game did. What other, did you watch any of this show?
No, I watched all the trailers that were from it.
Okay. So some other ones that I thought really looked great. So they showed off some more of Gangs of Sherwood. It's like that Robin Hood game that we've been seeing. Viva Land. Did you see that trailer?
Yeah.
That's the Sims game.
But it's multiplayer, right?
8-player Sims game that is played in real time. So it's just always online, always going. I think IGN compared it to a Google Doc or something like that, where it's anybody could go in and edit that world anytime, and then you could also, if you're all in there, you're just hanging out or whatever.
Yeah,
it's I don't know why it took that long for something like that to exist. It sounds perfect for a Sim style game,
Yeah, I mean, that concept just reminds me so much of Minecraft. Going into your buddy's house, setting up some booby traps or something. Don't know if you'll be able to do that, but if it's anything like The Sims, Maybe
Yeah.
your buddy will spawn back in the swimming pool and have no way out.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Now I want to play this game so bad because, yeah, I'm sure my wife will probably want to play it, and I'll just prank the shit out of her all the time. And then another one I thought was so strange, and it looked so much better than it had any right to be. Ebenezer and the Invisible World.
Absolutely.
An Ebenezer Scrooge Metroidvania game. And it looked awesome.
Yes.
Like, the action looked great, the fighting looked great, the graphics looked fantastic. I don't know if I have any, like, real Christmas-themed video games. So that'll be good. So yeah, there was a ton. I mean, I definitely. Any other ones that you thought that jumped out at you?
I better just say the 8-bit one, just because we've talked about it like 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah,
now.
which one is this one?
Geomythica was what it was called, and I don't remember that much about it, but it does strike you because of the style. So many of the pixel art games coming out these days are really in that 16 to 32-bit SNES and Sega Genesis era, but this is 100%. It looks like an NES title.
It's going back a little further. Nice. I missed this one. I have to watch this one.
Yeah, so it's
it on
an
that
8-bit
list?
JRPG. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and sound and everything looks pretty good.
Keep talking about it. I'm going to look at it right now as you're talking about it.
Let's see. It features some quality of life features that can help players of all skill levels. I'm ripping this straight from IGN, so people can go look at the article.
That's what we do with all our news, so it's fair.
So players of all skill levels enjoy the experience, including no penalty for dying, the ability to freely respec your characters, and more. You can also ride a Triceratops, and who among us hasn't wanted to do that?
Absolutely. Well, I'm here. Did you see this Cuisineer?
I'll have to figure out which one that is.
Cuisineer.
Oh, yes.
It's like you run a shop and then you do dungeon crawling. Kind of reminded me of Dave the Diver in that you have to like go like do a different type of game. It's not a dungeon crawling game, but to then go take it back to the thing and run a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah. So you're out there collecting your resources, and I guess in Dave the Diver, are you like a sushi chef or something?
Exactly, yeah. Dude, this Geomythica game is crazy, dude. I cannot believe this is a new game. Yeah. Wow. What a throwback, man. Yeah, absolutely. Just NES. Cool. That's very cool. I'm interested in that to see what that's all about. So yeah, I'm gonna watch more of this this show, and probably like I've already wish listed like a ton of these games, which is it's big for these indie studios. You know, you wish list their game, they could then take it to some publisher and be like, listen, we got 30,000 wish lists, baby. Mm-hmm. So go watch this and do that.
One more on that list we got to talk about because I feel like this is going to come up if it's any good. Unawake. Did you see that one? It's like Skyrim, but Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, that trailer looked dope. That one, yeah, I'm excited for that one. It was like one of those where I'm like, is this game gonna suck? Like it was like just because I'm like usually it's like too good to be true with some of these,
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It looks like a AAA title, so you wonder why is it at this indie show?
Right. It was my first thought where I was like, why haven't I heard of this? And like, why is it here when it's it just looks bigger than it is. So yeah, a lot of great games in the indie world coming at us in the near future. All right, and last up, I'm going to ask you first of all, is Fortnite-ification a word?
I think it is now because of Call of Duty.
Well, I'm using it. Yes, Call of Duty and the continuing Fortnite-ification of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone. Lara Croft is coming. When you saw this, were you excited?
I wasn't angry, but I wouldn't say excited. I've not really touched the game in like a month now.
So who, like, if you had a choice, if you could get one of these for free, Nicki Minaj or Lara Croft, who do you choose?
I think Lara Croft. No disrespect to Nicki Minaj, but Lara Croft is like a classic character in my book.
Exactly, and she's got the skills to be out there hunting people down. I don't know about Nicki running around in her high heels or something. or Snoop Dogg even. But yeah, this is it's happening. They're just getting crazier and crazier with these announcements. Who else is was coming? It was like 21 Savage or something,
Yeah.
and Mace. So
Yeah.
yeah, the whole crew is in the house. So this is part of the Tracer Pack, the Tomb Raider Operator Bundle. Tomb Raider Operator. That's fun to say. It also includes 3 weapon blueprints, including an Ice Axe melee weapon, the Mythic Defender SMG, and her signature Mach 5 dual pistols. So,
yeah, I know a
very
lot
cool.
of people, when they saw this, they got kind of angry, and they throw around the term like Fortnitification, and they kind of scoff and roll their eyes at it. It's way late in the season for this Call of Duty, where nobody should really be caring. We're looking forward to the next Call of Duty at this point. And it's just like in when they made Modern Warfare 2, people kind of were angry that the little things weren't realistic in the beginning. But as the game goes on, they started making it a little more and a little more wild, having to be a little less respectful of like the World War II source material. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a better game for that late season.
Sure. Yeah, and they're making money. They're going to keep doing it because people want this stuff. There's only so many operators you could have that look, they all look the same. They're all military operators. Sometimes you want a peacock in a game. I know when I'm playing Fortnite, I got the weirdest gear on, and it's like, just because it's there and it exists, it's not going to I don't know. Maybe if you're playing Warzone, you don't want bright colors on you, but maybe you do. You want that handicap because you're so damn good. But yeah, they're making money. It's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to get crazier and crazier. I'm absolutely sure of it. So, and the best thing is, if you buy these, I think everything just carries over to the new game, to Modern Warfare 3. So go spend your money. Buy Nicki Minaj. Get 21 Savage up in this beat. All right. That's all I got. You got anything else?
Nothing.
All right. That's it. That's our show for this week. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of Gaming News Weekly. Be sure to go to Fruit Lab and sign up. You can watch video games, play video games, earn pips. That's a cryptocurrency. Then you go buy video games with it. Dude, it's the circle of life, and it works for everybody involved. My name there is Erect the Red. This guy's Full Clip over there. If you don't want to check that out, you can go to our YouTube pages. I'm at Pop Culture Playground. That's where you'll find this show, a couple other shows I got. And Full Clip's page is GameFAQs, GameFAX. Find him making glass cars and bug jars. I was trying to find something that rhymed. Maybe not the last part. You can also catch him on Twitch every once in a while, FullClip_FL. And then if you want to listen to this show, you can subscribe to the podcast. Anywhere podcasts are found, just type in GNW. You'll find it that way. And yeah, you'll have that stuff on the go when you're jogging, commuting to work. Bam, you're getting knowledge so that when you're at work, you're at the water cooler and they say, hey, did you check out that Mix Next Indie Game Showcase? And you're like, I did, even though you didn't. But you could say you saw Ebenezer in the Invisible World and how cool that looked. And then our socials, we're on Instagram, TikTok. Go subscribe, follow there for daily content coming at you. All the best bits from this show. Coming at you there. And I think that's everything. And now I'm done talking. Anything else? Nope. All right. We're out of here. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.